Hi, my name is Huba Kellerman. I wanted to welcome you to my YouTube yoga channel. Here you'll find many Vinyasa flow classes that you can practice along with, from beginner to more advanced. I'm based out of Los Angeles. I teach many public classes here as well, so if you're ever interested in practicing with me in person, in a class setting, or privately, you can always use the comment section below to contact me. Today's class will be just a general Vinyasa flow class. We'll get into some back bends, some lunges, obviously a bunch of Vinyasas. So I hope you can join us, have a glass of water and maybe a yoga block or a towel handy, and we'll see. This will be a quick 30-minute Vinyasa flow class. Hope you can join us and practice with us. I have Benita here with me. We will begin in child's pose. So in child's pose, both knees are bent. You can bring your knees a little bit wider than the ribs and allow the ribs to sink down towards the floor. Traditionally, the big toes are together and the arms are reaching straight out in front of you. The palms are flat. See if you can put all 10 fingertips down onto the floor. Just kind of feel that you're gripping that mat, giving you a sense of stability. And right away begin to drop into your Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi breath are deep 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-second long inhales. Brief pause and an oceanic ha sound as you exhale. If it helps you, you may want to imagine some positive quality coming towards you on the inhalation breaths, something that you desire, and then use the exhales to let something old, something that's no longer serving you go. Just like the rhythm of life, on and off, back and forth, that binary concept seems to make the complex phenomena called life happening. So maybe take advantage with that. Use it to your advantage rather than fighting. Just accept the on and off qualities, the goods, the bads, and know that those two opposites what makes life possible. So our next inhalation, let's rise on up to tabletop position, hands and knees. Slide the knees in just a little bit closer. The wrists will end up underneath the shoulders. And we'll just flow through a couple of cat-cows here. On an inhale, dip the middle of your spine and lift the chin. And as you exhale, press the palms, knees down, and draw the belly button up. How about 2 more rounds like that? Inhale, the shoulder heads roll. And exhale, the palm, knees press down. One more time like that. Inhale, maybe dip it a little lower. And exhale, like a howling cat. Drop the head low. And then find a neutral spine. And see if you can send the legs straight back behind you into plank position. So one leg at a time. So start plank, straighten the legs. Yeah, you can walk your hands forward. And keep the back of the neck long. So there's just a straight line between your heels, your hips, your shoulders, and the crown of the head. Shift your shoulders 2 inches forward of your wrist and lower slowly down all the way onto your navel. Untuck your toes and interlace your fingers behind your tailbone, turning your triceps on. Begin to lift the knuckles off of the tail and send your knuckles towards to your heels. Yeah, the toes are spreading very wide. All 10 toenails should be touching the ground. And if possible, lengthen the legs so much that the legs actually start lifting off of the floor. So basically everything that you can get off of the floor comes off of the floor. Can you get your legs off of the floor as well? Lift them up. Nice, take one more big inhale and put everything down. Slide your palms flat by your floating ribs. Tuck the toes under. Fire up your legs, so tuck your toes under, walk your toes in a little bit, and then push to plank. And hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Slide the toes a little bit closer together. So we're going to take it together into a vinyasa, shift forwards to a plank on an inhale, and slowly lower down halfway or all the way. Untuck your toes, push up into the cobra position, and downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift your hips high, and let your head go. Wonderful. And make your feet a little bit wider than your mat. Actually just as wide as your mat, and walk your hands back all the way to your toes. Come to the back edge of your mat and slide your heels in about 2 inches. Bend your knees, come down to a yoga squat. So bring your feet back, just the heels in. Make your feet as wide as the mat. Yeah, that's it. And the palms are pressing together. The elbows are pushing out into the inner thighs and the inner knees. And there's no rounding here. So find that sense of the cobra. Heart is lifting towards to the sky. Good. And then put your fingertips on the floor. Push your legs straight. Come to the forward fold position. Now you can slide your feet together. Interlace your fingers behind your tailbone. Send those knuckles up and overhead. The heels are grounding down and the sits bones are lifting up high towards to the sky. And the knuckles are not just moving forward, they are also slightly lifting up, and then they are moving forward, sort of hitting that edge where it's not too much, not too little, just until it feels good in your body. And then put your hands under your hips from here, slide the fingertips back in front of your toes, and climb your hands back out to downward facing dog, right where we came from. And now let's take a vinyasa again. Shift forward on an inhale breath, leading with the shoulders. Exhale, lower down halfway or all the way. Feet untuck as you rise up into the up dog or the cobra. And then sure enough, downward facing dog. Hips pull back to the sky. Slide the toes a little bit closer together. And give that right leg a nice lift. Lift it up high and push your right heel away from you. So as you guys can see, Benita has very open hamstrings. The hips are staying leveled. That inner right thigh is slightly rotating forwards. Now keep that right leg lifted, drift into a plank pose, and squeeze your right knee to your nose. So shoulders stay over the wrist. Step your right foot next to your right thumb. Step your left foot next to your right foot, and take a forward fold. Good. Inhale, come up all the way to stand. Fly your arms high to the sky. Stretch up, look up. Hands to prayer pose as you exhale. Inhale, reach your arms like a moving meditation. Exhale, dive it out. Fingertips to the ground. Inhale, glance it out. Plant your palms, step to plank position. Wait for your inhale there. And then exhale, chaturanga. Shift forward, lower. Upward facing, collarbones, toes wide. Downward facing dog, hips pull high to the sky. And then the left leg will lift up on a big inhale. Left heel reaches. Keeping those hips nice and level. So it's almost like a prep for a handstand. If Benita would have her right foot closer, it would be a very, very good handstand kick-up preparation. Just throwing that in there for you as information. Now shift forwards into plank again. The left leg lifts still. And then squeeze the knee forward. Step the foot down. Step your right foot up to meet your left foot. And fold again. Inhale, root down, rise up. Arms reach up high to the sky. And draw it down the middle. Good. Again, inhale, float your arms. So just a simple sun salute. Exhale, dive it out. Flat back on the inhale. Step to plank pose. Keep lowering down on the same exhale. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Inhale. Downward dog. Exhale. Beautiful. Float your right leg up again. Step your right foot next to your right thumb. We'll come into a crescent pose. So just softly lift your torso up. Start folding your arms towards to the sky. Imagine there's a weight attached to your tailbone, so the tailbone is sinking down. The right knee is pressing forward, and the left ribs are revolving slightly forward. If you ever traveled on an aeroplane on a long flight, you've probably seen people have those neck pillows around their neck. That would be a little bit of an exaggeration, but sometimes if you're unsure, imagine you have one of those neck pillows around your neck. So definitely space for the shoulders. Now, on your next exhale, reach your left arm forward, right arm behind you. So you're going to take an open twist. They call this a T-lunge on the East Coast, so I heard. And on the West Coast, we just call this an open arm twist. Now, super, super slowly, keeping this shape, lean forward, put your left hand to the inside, take your right arm up to the sky. So you're turning this into the twisting lunge position. And the back leg is still very straight, and the left shoulder is drawing towards to the inner right knee. Lovely. Now put your right hand on the floor. Take another inhale, draw your heart forward a little bit, and then just pull your right leg straight. So it's a pyramid pose variation. And drop your head down low. So you're kind of thinking about down dog here, very similar concept. The right hip pulls back and in towards to the midline. That left hip could always revolve forward. The left inner thigh could turn back a little bit more. Lovely. And then bend your front knee. Plant the palm strongly without a sound. Pull your right foot back to plank pose. Now let's just lift the hips up. Come back to downward facing dog. Yeah, we'll skip a vinyasa. Why not? Take the left leg up again. Inhale. Good. Drift into the plank and step the foot forward in between your hands. Make sure your inner thighs are working, your outer hips are working. Crescent position. Lift the torso and float your arms. The breath is always there, your most faithful companion. It's there with you wherever you go, whatever you do. You could be passed out, completely unaware of yourself, but the breath is there, like your best friend. And you know, a lot of times we don't even realize that that breath is there. So maybe take this chance to give that breath a little gratitude that it's there, providing you with the opportunity of experiencing this incredible phenomena called life. Now reach your right arm forward, left arm back. Remember, turn everything open. And just really reaching through the arms. The hips are still square. Now very softly begin to lean forward. Right hand goes to the inside edge of your left foot. Left arm up goes towards to the sky. The back leg is like an arrow, really strong and straight, powered up. Left fingertips to the ground. Take an additional inhale here. Think cobra, so draw your heart forward. And then pull your left leg straight. Think downward dog. Let that head go. Really leveling the hips out. The top of the left thigh revolves forward. The outer right hip kind of revolves forward, and the inner seam of the right leg revolves forward back as well. So, you know, you can think of like tuning an instrument. You're just kind of fine-tuning those little details in your body. And now let's rebend the front knee. On this one, step your right foot forward to meet your left foot and take a forward fold. And then how about chair pose? Bend your knees, sink your hips, and reach your arms forwards and up. Let's come up to stand, draw the hands to prayer pose. Let's do chair again. Bend your knees, sit down low, and exhale, forward fold. Good. Inhale, halfway lift position. Take it through a vinyasa, moving mindfully, slowly, savoring the inhalations, savoring the exhalations. Great. Right leg up again, high to the sky. That's your left leg, right leg up. Okay. Step your right foot forwards again, in between your hands. Turn your left heel flat. Stay on your right hand, take your left arm up to the sky. External rotation in the practice. We usually start out in neutrals just because walking is neutral. When I'm walking, when I'm sitting, when I'm climbing, that's neutral. So external rotation is actually a little bit less neutral for the body, but we all really enjoy those external stretches in our hips and our upper body, torso, stuff like that. See if you can blur this into triangle. Just push that right leg straight. Maybe you can put the, yeah, nice. So I almost said maybe you can put your right hand on. Of course, you could put your right hand up to the ankle or to a block. Benita has open enough hamstrings, which is sort of theoretically the best situation you can be. Just blurring from one pose to the other without too much adjustment. And now let's bend the front knee, warrior two, rise on up. And this is the ultimate externally rotated standing pose. The fingers are vibrant, the shoulders are soft. And then let's take it into a reverse warrior. So flip the right palm up. Front knee here could bend a little bit deeper because you just taken some weight off of that front thigh. So why not take advantage with that? But on an exhale, put both of your hands down on the floor and pause. Spin to the ball of your left foot. So your left toes are on the floor, but the heel is up, and shift your right hand to the inside edge of your right foot. Heel to your right foot a little bit more to the right, and see if you can come down onto your elbows, lizard pose. So for today, if you could keep the back leg lifted, just because we're kind of moving through a pretty strong, but not crazy active standing series, sort of looking for that fine line of strong but also smooth and soft. Cool. Now come back up onto your hands. So what I'd like you to do next is take your right hand about a foot forward to the outside edge of your right foot and push off of your left hand, come into half moon position. You circle the left arm up towards to the sky. Inner left thigh is lifting. The bottom ribs are drawing forwards. The fingers are spreading wide. The shoulders are staying. We actually got quite windy up here, so we need to engage our bodies more before we get blown away in the literal sense. Nice. From here, left hand to the floor. Level your hips. And then drop step your left toes way behind you. Now let's come back to crescent pose. Reach your arms back up to the sky. So you went into a little external journey. We're back into the neutral journey without any bells and whistles. We're going to take one more breath here and then take a vinyasa. Put the hands onto the floor and flow through. So you need to spice up the practice. You could add a push-up here and now. If you need to soften up and back out a little bit, you could maybe take a child's pose sometimes. So always honoring where you are. Just because your body responded a certain way yesterday doesn't mean your body responds the same way today. So kind of every day is a little bit different. And really that's what means advanced yoga. It's listening to your body and attending to the needs of the moment. That's all. Everything else is icing on a cake and sometimes just make things more complicated, in my opinion. Left leg lifts high, inhale. Left foot forward, in between your hands, exhale. Keep the left hand down, turn the right heel flat, take your right arm to the sky, side angle pose. Outer left hip draws back and in towards to the midline. If you have a wall on the side where your chest is facing, you can imagine your inner left thigh drawing towards to that wall. Back leg straight as usual. Without the least amount of change, triangle pose, begin to press your left leg straight. Traditionally, triangle pose isn't a back bend. I like to put a little bit of a back bend into it because you're sort of given. You're there, and why not? Again, on certain days, good option. On other days, maybe not so much. And then warrior two. Bend your front knee, drop the hip, reach those arms away from one another. Back arm at the same height as the front arm, just vibrant and dynamic. Find your reverse warrior, inhale. Good. Mindfully put both of your hands down to the floor. Spin to the ball of your right foot. Shift your left hand to the inside edge of your left foot. See if you can come down to your forearms and sink into that left hip. So by all means, you could widen your stance in this one. You remember that yoga squat we started at the beginner class? This is a more exaggerated version. And come back up onto your hands. Left hand goes a foot to the outside edge of your left foot. Use your right hand, push it up, half moon pose. So the right arm reaches. It's a huge external rotation in the body. Back heel pushes away. Crown of the head draws forward. And the bottom ribs just lengthen past infinity, so as the right fingertips. Past infinity. Good. Right hand to the floor, level your hips. Okay, light as a feather, drop step the right toes behind you, rise on up to crescent position. Stabilize, organize, take a goodbye inhale here, to the floor, vinyasa. Big inhale, every fiber of your being spreads wide, and downward facing dog, hips kiss the sky. Beautiful, Benita. Let's walk the feet towards to the hands, not all the way. How about to the middle of your mat? We'll come up there a little bit more, and a little bit more. That's good. Bend your knees, have a seat. Straighten your legs out in front of you. So Dandasana. And squeeze your right knee in towards to your chest. Right knee in. And then wrap your left arm around your right knee. Bring your right fingertips behind you. Yeah, we call this Marichis twist or Marichiasana. And you're using the power in your left hand to sort of dial the depth of that twist in. And now see if you can grab the outside edge of your right foot with your left hand. And maybe begin to send that right leg forward and maybe begin to reach your right arm back. So you might have noticed that we skipped some of the standing, bigger twists. Sometimes doing them seated gives you an opportunity to work into them deeper. You don't have to worry about the balance so much and the strength factor so much. Okay, look forward, rebend your right knee. Put your right foot down and let your right knee fall down to the floor. So just like a tree pose, take your arms up to the sky, draw your belly in and fold over your left leg. Janu Shirshasana. The right thigh gets heavy. Right shoulder gets a little bit heavier than the left shoulder usually. Both of the side body is equally long. Sits bones are staying rooted, and the feet stays active. You know, that's the big difference between being asleep or meditating. Meditating is an active relaxation. Okay, very simply, come on up. Use your right hand to pull your right knee in and straighten your right leg forwards. Squeeze the left knee in towards you. Wrap your right arm around your left knee and bring your left fingertips behind you. So we're just blurring over to the other side. And if you're new to yoga and one side feels very different than the other side, just know that that's very, very normal for all of us. As a matter of fact, have you thought about the fact that you only have a heart on the left side for most of us? Some have it on the right side, but that's a big deal. I mean, the main, pump engine of your body is only on one side of your body. So it's pretty obvious that one side feels different. Also our brain, right? One side is more of the artistic side. The other side is more of the intellectual side. And the same thing happens in your body. And see if you can grab the outside edge of your left foot with your right hand. Begin to work that like straight, and maybe that left arm floats back. And it's just a beautiful balance here on the sits bones. You'll notice that the more you're pressing the left foot away from you, the deeper that stretch gets in the shoulders. Perfect. And I look forward, bend the knee, put the foot down. Let that knee fall out to the side. Reach your arms up. Look towards to your right leg. And a slow exhale. Take a forward fold. Like you're spreading peanut butter over your favorite toast. Make sure there's no little places left uncovered. Same thing here. Cover as much area as you can. Make it as even as possible so one bite isn't too overwhelming compared to another bite that might be underwhelming. fab. And then come on up. Pull that left knee into the middle, straighten your left leg forward, so both legs straight. Reach both of your arms up, take the biggest inhalation of this class yet, and fold forward over both thighs, Paschimottanasana, full forward fold. You are moving downwards towards to your shins and towards to your knees, but before you move downwards, you're definitely moving forwards. So we always consider Cobra pose or Tadasana the blueprints of most yoga poses. That just means that the shape and the nature of those poses, Tadasana is standing straight up and Cobra is that little back bend, occur in most poses. Okay, now softly come on up, recline down towards to your back. So you have to turn your abdominal muscles on in this one. The heels are pressing down on the floor. You're trying to not to let the feet lift up. Maybe you hit that little quiver zone right before you would come all the way down. And then you just allow the arms to softly fall out to the sides. And from here, bring your knees in towards you. If you need to scoot forward a little bit, by the way, feel free to scoot forwards. So bend your knees and bring them in towards you, both of them. Yeah. Put your right ankle on the top of your left knee. So we have officially reached our cool down. Thread the needle, hug that left thigh in towards you. The body's in a very balanced position. The shoulders are on the floor. And you want to bend your elbows a little bit so there is a sense of an activation from the arms. And keep the legs the way they are. Just take your arms out wide into a T shape or a cactus shape and put your left heel down onto the floor. And heel to your left foot a little bit more to the left. Drop your knees to the right. Yeah, this is called the windshield wiper pose. I'm not sure if this is an official yoga pose, but it is now. And you want your left knee underneath your left hip. So there's a straight line running down through the left side of the body. Sort of like the ultimate side angle stretch. Okay, now put your right foot down. Bring your knees back into the center. Straighten your right leg up towards to the sky. Keep your left on the floor. Now, you interlace your fingers behind your right knee. And see if you can push your right leg away from you so much that your shoulders and your head lifts off the floor. Now keep all that work. Extend your left arm forwards. Sorry, left leg forwards. And now extend both of your arms forward. But stay up there in this sit-up position. So this is the crunch. Very similar to a pose called Ardhanavasana or health boat pose. We have that long leg lifted. I'm going to be here for another 2 breaths. See if you can come up a little more. Send the thighs away from you. And then bend your right knee. Squeeze the right knee towards to your chest. Put your head and your shoulders down to the floor. On your next exhale, pull the right knee down over to the left and take your final twist on this side. Look over towards to the right thumb. The shoulders are melting. Hips are just beautifully stacked on top of one another. And gracefully bring it back into the center. And let's find single pigeon with the left ankle on top of the right knee. So bring both knees in. Yeah, that's it. If you guys ever wonder why we ask you to engage your feet, there's a concept, it's called the tighter, the lighter. When you just let your limbs kind of be very loose and stuff, they carry a lot of what you would call dead weight. But if you make them really engaged and vibrant, they actually become lighter. And you're also encouraging the flow of energy to those parts of your body. Take your arms wide. Put your right foot down. Heel to the right foot, more to the right. Drop your knees over towards to the left. So the beautiful thing about this pose is that the weight of the left ankle helps that right side body stretch out. It's funny that the human body doesn't come with a manual, right? You could buy an expensive car and know every single little detail about it and how to fix it. And here we are with the human body, and it's still a mystery. Why is 80% of our DNA junk DNA? Was nature really so dumb to leave 80%? Just completely nonsense. There are different theories on this one. I'm not gonna get into it now, but you know, maybe there is a lot of stuff in that 80%. We just haven't figured out how to access it yet. Put the left foot down, bring the knees back in, and straighten your left leg up to the sky. Yes, interlace your fingers behind your left knee. Push that left leg forward so you can curl your shoulders, head off of the floor. Hover the right heel off 2 inches, and then reach your arms forward. Okay, the belly button presses towards to the floor. The thighs are moving away from you. The toes are fanned wide. You want to lift the chin just a little bit so there's that natural curve at the back of the neck. Take one more inhale here. Squeeze the left knee in. Put your shoulders down onto the floor. On the slowest exhale, pull the left knee down to the right. Reach the left arm to the left and take your final twist. All of the mobility that you're able to do with your body has been included. We forward folded, we've back bended, we squatted, we've lunged, we did neutrals, we did balancing poses, and we're doing a lot of twisting, breathing, and all of these eventually are leading us up to the final pose. So Benita, bring both knees back into the center and wrap your forearms around your knees. So give yourself a nice squeeze. Curl up into a tight ball. Pull your nose towards to your knees. Squeeze every single molecule as strong as you can. Take one more big inhale. And like the petals of a flower, in a slow exhale, open the arms, open the legs. Like a piece of dark chocolate in the sun, melting into the cracks. Let everything go. If you have the luxury to stay here for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, maybe even an hour, please do. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you had a good time. If you have any questions, please leave them at the comment section below. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, and we'll hope to see you again on the mat soon. Thank you for joining us. Namaste.